So this week I am actually in LA. I'm apartment hunting. Fingers crossed that I will be signing a lease and can move out here very, very quickly. But I'm definitely going to film a LA apartment hunting video. Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Megan. I'm an aspiring screenwriter and I work as a script reader for screenwriting competitions. Today, I wanted to talk to you guys about some of my tips for how to become a better writer. Now, I'm gonna specifically be talking about getting better at writing scripts, so my advice is a little bit tailored to that, but whatever kind of writer you are, you might be able to find some good kind of ideas here as well. These are the kind of things that I've done to work on bettering my writing and what I found to be the most successful in helping me see progress. So let's jump into it. I'll give you my tips, we'll talk, we'll see, it'll be great. The first thing that I think can be really helpful is reading your dialogue out loud. Whether or not you're writing a script, this can be helpful because dialogue is supposed to be spoken aloud, whether even if you're not writing a script, the idea of dialogue is that it's said out loud within the story. So if it does not sound natural out loud, that's a problem. And that's a great way for you to tell if it sounds natural, is to read it out loud, see if it, works in a voice's cadence, and if the things that you're trying to say come across right. If you can get somebody else to read it out loud because they don't know what you were trying to kind of have come across, that can be really, really great too. But just in general, having things read out loud makes such a difference. Dialogue is, I think, where this is going to have the most impact, but it can't hurt to read all of it out loud because, again, you have that same effect where you just see if it sounds natural, you see if things kind of flow nicely, and it can really make you more aware of what you're reading and you won't just kind of skim over it. It's also really important to read other people's works, whether that be scripts or whatever. Reading other people's writing really helps you get an idea of how writing works outside of just theories and ideas and what people teach you. It makes such a difference to read things and pay attention to what's working, what's not, why you may or may not like something. I started reading scripts for screenwriting competitions a little over a year ago, and it has made such an astronomical difference in my own writing. I understand so much more about story and story structure now. I'm able to kind of find things in my own writing that aren't working so well so much easier. And, it's really also a great way for me to say, okay, here are the writing rules that I learned, and seeing them in practice and seeing why either a rule is in place and it works or why they tell you not to do something. It kind of puts things into perspective and helps me kind of see things working in the real world. Now, you don't need to work professionally reading other people's writing to do this. Find other writer friends that you can share your work with and kind of work together and read each other's things. You can give each other feedback and stuff like that. It does not have to be anything professional. You can also just read, look up the scripts for your favorite movies and read those, or just read books and just pay attention to all those details because you'll get so much out of it. The next thing is to watch with an analytic mind. So when you're watching TV and movies, and again, this is specifically kind of catered towards script writing, but with anything that you consume around story, look at it from an analytical perspective. So don't just sit there and watch what you're watching, the show or the movie. You're probably already watching shows and movies. This is probably something you're already doing, but you can add that extra layer of being really conscious of what you're viewing and consuming that will make that time even better well spent. Study the craft. You can absolutely wing it and you might be fantastic and like a prodigy, but understanding all of the elements of a story and who are considered the greats and maybe why, and seeing if you actually like them yourself and why or why not. Understanding all of the things that make up what you're trying to do can only make you better at it. Having a full understanding of your craft, it makes it feel so much more comfortable and familiar, and I find that writing feels so much less daunting when you have an understanding of the craft as a whole and a deeper look into how all of it works. One thing that I've loved is doing table reads with my friends. So if I finish, a good few drafts of a script and I'm starting to feel pretty good about it, I will have my friends all get together and I'll send them all my script. And, these are friends that I trust, so you want to, of course, be conscious of who you're sharing your writing with. But these are friends that I trust, and we all read the script and we have such a great time. And then I get to hear their perspective and what they think, and if they have any concerns or if there are things that I'm worried about after. I like to let them all kind of read everything and give their feedback first, and then I'll bring up anything that I've had concerns about that I want to know their perspective on, so I don't kind of color their own feedback from the start, but I can still get those answers. And it's really a fun thing to do. I love getting to share it with them, but also it's super, super helpful for me. And probably the number one thing to do to improve your writing is to just keep writing. I've found that the more I write, the better I feel about my writing and the more I feel grounded in it, I guess, and grounded in the practice. I talked about this in a video a couple weeks ago, but I worked on the same pilot, just doing draft after draft after draft for a really long time. And what I found is that by actually working on new projects and creating new scripts, I improved so much faster because it wasn't just rewriting the same thing, it was expanding my abilities and looking deeper from different angles and perspectives of the craft. And my writing has improved so much since I started doing that. So don't just get stuck writing the same thing over and over again. I think it's also really important to kind of fall in love with the process of getting better. Like, I found that I started to not just feel better about myself as a writer, but like enjoy writing more when I just started to actively enjoy the process of improving. And so if I didn't like something I wrote, or I looked back on old writing and I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I wrote that. Like, it's so bad. It could just be, well, I'm so excited to keep learning. I'm so excited to keep getting better and to keep looking back and feeling gross about my old work because it feels so immature. Like, that could start to be exciting, and it took so much pressure off of me. So I think those are all of my tips. I hope that you guys enjoyed this. I hope that it was helpful. Let me know if you have any other questions about this. I love talking about writing and kind of growth as a writer, so more than happy to answer any questions or just talk about this in the comments. If you guys like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you want to see any other videos, let me know in the comments section. And if you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe and press the notification bell if you want to make sure you see my new videos as soon as they come up.